Week 2 NFL football. How crazy can it be that week 1 was wild through the charts? So many people got injured. So many Achilles are torn. Poor Aaron Rodgers out for the season. There's people with injuries, Achilles, ACL injuries, all in week 1. Like, so many good players literally went out in week 1. So let's get started and talk to you about week 2 predictions and what is happening in the NFL Football League. What is going on with these teams?
Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
Welcome to Football Barbie, guys, where I talk about anything and everything football. Please mind all of this. We are home because of the Eagles game, so I wanted to bring to you the week 2 predictions, and we are in Levittown, PA here. So, it's probably like 45 minutes or so from the stadium here in Philly for the next tomorrow. And let's get it going and talk to you about week 2 and what the predictions are. So I did a Thursday night game. Luckily, I went to the Eagles game. Luckily, they won against the Vikings. I did pick them. So if you did watch my little short, I did say the Eagles were going to win. However, I do truly feel like the Eagles are becoming a little bit of an embarrassment. They are not the team that went to the Super Bowl, even though we're supposed to have these better defense people. What's going on? So let's talk to you about some of the injuries and everything and what I'm picking and who I'm picking going into week 2. So talking about it. Sorry, we are outside too, so let's kind of see, trying to switch up a little bit of the scenery. It's really nice out, In PA, we have grass and everything. Green Bay versus Atlanta, Sunday, 10 a.m. game. So for Green Bay, I'm a little hesitant on picking them, but Barbie is going to be picking Green Bay. However, they do have injuries of Romeo Doubs, the wide receiver, which I'm pretty sure he scored a touchdown in week 1. Or if you're a Green Bay fan, let me know. Didn't he score a touchdown week 1? I know I did talk about it in my week 1 recap video, but I think he did. He was questionable for week 2 this week with a limited participant in practice. Then you had Christian Watson, your wide receiver, who I know is a really good player on your team, is still questionable with a hamstring injury. These poor people and their hamstring injuries. It literally seems to be like Achilles, ACL, hamstring, groin. Those seem to be the 4 major issues besides concussions. And then you also have Aaron Jones. I hope, for the sake, if Aaron Jones does not play, there's a chance that I would pick Atlanta, okay? If Aaron Jones does not play, I'm for sure wanting to pick Atlanta to win this because he's your running back and he's questionable due to a hamstring. He was a non-participant at practice for Green Bay. So Green Bay, I'm wishing you luck. I'm wishing that Aaron Jones is on your team come week 2 on this Sunday. But I don't know. As for Atlanta, there are no injuries. We do have Bijan Robinson. He killed it as week 1, did really well. But Atlanta did still have a lot of issues that they have to work through and everything. There's a lot of problems that are going on. So Barbie is picking Green Bay as long as if Aaron Jones can be in the game. If Aaron Jones isn't in it, I really can see swaying in the favor of the Atlanta Falcons. Next up, we have Buffalo versus Las Vegas Raiders. So the Buffalo Bills versus Las Vegas Raiders. Sunday, 10 a.m. game, Pacific time here, guys, okay? Your injury report for Vegas, you have poor Jacoby Myers. He is on the concussion protocol. Apparently, there's like tests and performances that you have to do in order to pass a concussion protocol. It said there's like no time limit. A player just has to be able to pass what they have to do. And so he's questionable for the game. It said it's always completely possible that they will play, but I don't know. And then you have DeAndre Carter for the Raiders, wide receiver, who is questionable with a knee. He was limited in practice come Thursday. Then you have the Buffalo Bills, who have no injuries. I'm a little nervous, so I'm picking the Buffalo Bills. However, I know everybody's joking about Josh Allen having so many turnovers and like interceptions and fumbles, especially in the week 1 versus the Jets. Like, even though they had so many, the Jets still slightly managed to pull off a win, but barely. They did lose their starting QBs, who everybody was beyond excited to have. Not really sure what's going to happen here now. You have Josh Allen. No, he has a great arm. He's got one of the best arms in the league, who's now going against Jimmy Garoppolo. The Raiders won it last week, but barely beat the Denver Broncos last week. Start okay. I do think that Sean Payton was kind of getting Russell Wilson a little bit better undergoing, but I think that Russell Wilson needs some more work. I'm not really sure what's going on in Denver. Like, I think Sean Payton's really pushing Russell, and he tells him to stop kissing babies, which I thought was fucking hysterical. But, you know, he needs Russell to be that quarterback that he was in Seattle. So Barbie is taking Buffalo. Next up, you have Cincinnati versus Baltimore. What in the world happened at 10 a.m. on Sunday? What in the world happened to Joe Burrow on Sunday? I've seen that Cincinnati has not necessarily the best week 1 starts. However, I don't know. How does a guy who literally just got a really big pay contract, I don't think he's top paid, but a really big pay contract for a quarterback, whatever, do so bad that they pulled him out of the game in the last 5 minutes against the Browns? Like, what happened, Burrow? Bengals fans, what's going on with your quarterback, man? I get it that he still has this calf injury that happened in training camp, which still blows my mind. Like, I don't understand how you get so many issues in training camp. But what is going on? I don't get it. Like, come on now. Let's see if the Bengals pull together for week 2, dust off those, like, week 1 jitters or something, and get it to going. The Bengals do have Chris Evans, the running back, who is questionable with a hamstring. He wasn't in uniform on Thursday's practice. And then, like I said, Burrow's still kind of fighting this calf injury. And I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen with Joe come this. As for the Ravens, their injury report, Mark Andrews missed week 1 due to a quad injury. Apparently, he says that he's getting better every day. We're still unsure whether he's going to play in week 2 or not. I think they have like 90 minutes before the game time start to make that decision on whether or not they're actually going to play. And poor J.K. Dobbins got replaced on the injured reserve list because of his Achilles. So him and Rodgers are both out for the whole season because of their Achilles. Whoo, man, I'm telling you, week 1 Achilles injury? Fuck, like, can't you get that shit week 17? Not week 1? Damn, that sucks. So, Barbie's taking Cincinnati. I still do think that Cincinnati is the better team. I do know a friend who is a Ravens fan. However, if Burrow doesn't get it together, they're for sure going to lose again. Burrow needs to have his shit together in order for the Bengals to win. If Burrow does not, then it's going in the Ravens' favor. Next up, you have Detroit's Lions versus Seattle Seahawks. I'm still team Detroit here. I still say that Detroit is going to be their divisional winner. I think they are going to be beating the Seahawks. David Montgomery did so well for Detroit last game. And Jahmyr Gibbs, the rookie, was getting some good plays. I think that he is deserving of more plays. So I think it's only a little bit of time will kind of tell situation. As for the injuries, you do have, for Seattle, Kenny McIntosh is the running back. He's on an injured reserve list due to his knee, and the Lions have no injuries. So I'm kind of like gunning for the Lions here. I feel like you guys are kind of the underdogs. You guys haven't been divisional champs in quite a long time. So let's go Lions. Let's see if you can do it. Pull off a win versus Seattle. I may or may not go to the Eagles-Seattle game in December. It's like a big if hanging in the air because I can tell you, trying to go to the Kansas City game versus the Eagles in Kansas City is not cheap. Like, some of these games probably cost like $1,000 before food and everything like that, spending money just to go to the game. Even with splitting things, they're still not cheap. So we're doing what we can. So please like, comment, share everything for these videos. It really, really does help out the YouTube algorithm. If you like, comment, it takes 2 seconds. I promise you, and I greatly appreciate it, okay? So, like I said, Barbie's taking Detroit. Next up, you have Houston versus the Colts. Both rookie QBs now are going next to each other. Houston versus the Colts. Still a Sunday 10 a.m. game. As for the Colts, their injury reports, you do have Drew Ogletree, their tight end, is due to concussion, participated in some of Thursday. And then you do have Evan Hull, your running back, who is on the IR list due to a knee injury. As for Houston, you do have John Mechie, the third wide receiver, is questionable due to a hamstring. Go figure, hamstring. Was limited practice. And Noah Brown, the wide receiver, is on the IR list due to a groin injury. So, I don't really know. You do have your quarterback here, CJ Stroud, on the Texans. I do think that the Texans were able to get some good people. Then you also do have the Colts. I don't know. You know, I'm just a little hesitant here. I think that both of them, am I not mistaken, that both of them have rookie QBs going against each other? So, kind of like, let's see, like, what's happening. I do think Barbie is choosing Houston. I'm choosing Houston here, guys. I think it's going to be a close game. Obviously, we know Jonathan Taylor's still not playing for the Colts. So, if they had him, I for sure would take the Colts, okay? But not having one of the best running backs in the league because you won't trade him and you don't want to extend his contract, which I don't blame him. I mean, you're putting up numbers. You should try to pay people. Even if it's incentively, pay these people, okay? So, taking Houston. Next up, Kansas City versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still a 10 a.m. game. And the injury for the Kansas City Chiefs is still Travis Kelce is questionable with his knee, bone bruise, hyperextension, whatever it's being called. Kelce's still questionable. I'm going to be really curious. So I do think that the Chiefs are going to pull off a win. But without Kelce, they do have Chris Jones now back. He did sign his 1-year contract, which had incentives in the contract. I did not see anything yet about the numbers of the contract. But without Kelce, how are you guys going to do, Chiefs? I'm really curious. I did say plenty of times, without people's number 1 player, obviously you have Mahomes, but if Mahomes has nobody that can catch the ball, like, Kelce's a stud. We all know that Kelce's a stud. He plays fantastic, and I'm sure all you Chiefs fans missed him in your loss to the Lions last week. I don't know. But as for the Jaguars, they have no injuries. They do have Calvin Ridley back. He got his first touchdown early on in the game on Sunday. They won their game on Sunday. One of my really good friends is a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. What's going on, guys, man? How's it going to go? I still think the Kansas City's going to win. But Kelce, I know those Chiefs fans miss you dearly. So, Barbie is choosing the Kansas City Chiefs here. Next up, we have Chicago Bears versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Still a 10 a.m. game on Sunday. Okay? You do have your injury report for Bears and Bucks is no one that is major. So that is good for them. I do know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they obviously pulled off a win over the Vikings, and then the Eagles pulled off a win that I went to the game last night. They pulled off a win to the Vikings as well. So I did say, like I said, the Vikings aren't going to be as good as they were last year. However, Bears, yeah, I don't know. Justin Fields and DJ Moore do need to get their connection. Just like Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown haven't apparently found it for this year, even though we were on the same team last year. I don't know what happened this year, like what's going on. But the Bears, you can't keep having Justin Fields act like a running back. It's not helping your case whatsoever. Barbie is taking the Chicago Bears, okay? Do I think it's going to be by much? No. Last week were low-scoring games, and a lot of them were by 1 point. 17-16, the Raiders versus the who they played, Denver. Then you had 16-15, the Saints versus the Titans. I have a feeling this game could go in that kind of direction. The Chargers versus the Tennessee Titans. It is still a 10 a.m. game. So injury for the Chargers. Austin Eckler is running back. He's questionable due to his ankle. He wasn't on the field for the majority of the practice on Thursday. Now, by far, that man is probably one of their best people on that team. The Chargers put up one hell of a fight last week with Miami. And I don't know, man. The Chargers have an extremely good offense and defense. Even without Eckler, they probably could still win the game against the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans do have, obviously, Derrick Henry. However, their injury is, of course, DeAndre Hopkins. All these new people get traded. I want to see how they play in the new teams, and then these people get hurt. DeAndre Hopkins, as running back, is questionable with his ankle. He was barely on the practice, wasn't at practice at all on Thursday due to the ankle. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I just want to watch these people play on their new teams, and I don't understand, why do people keep getting hurt so bad? I just want people to play. Come on now. So Barbie's taking the Chargers, man. Barbie is taking the Chargers. The Chargers looked phenomenal against Miami, okay? Miami and the Chargers game, I literally said that was the most interesting game to watch of last week. Fantastic. Next up, you have the Giants versus Arizona. This is now the 1:05 p.m. game on Sunday. For the injury report for the Giants, you have Wan'Dale Robinson, the wide receiver, who is questionable because of his knee. He was limited in practice. And then you have Darren Waller, who you guys need Darren Waller. He's done amazing. Tight end, he's questionable with a hamstring, and he was limited at practice. As for the Cardinals, you have James Conner, the running back, who was questionable with his calf. I think the Arizona made a lot of mistakes in the game against the Commanders last week. And I think, obviously, the Giants were legit like a sleeper against Dallas because 40-0 shutout. Come on, Giants. We know you're better than that. Okay? I said the NFC East was supposed to be the best division for the NFC this year. Giants. I'm giving you the win against Arizona. If you do not win against Arizona, there are a lot more problems that have to be uncovered than you guys just going 40-0 against Dallas, okay? The Arizona, I said, is supposed to be one of the worst teams in the whole of the league. Guys, are you there? Don't forget, it's week 2 on Sunday, okay? This Sunday, week 2, 1:05 p.m. Gotta show up and play now, okay? You gotta show up and play. Mr. James, we love y'all, but, you know, the team's gotta show up and play. Next up, you have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Rams. 1:05 p.m. as well on Sunday. The injury report so far for the San Francisco is none. So 49ers are killing it, okay? Then you got the Rams. Obviously, we know Cooper Kupp, wide receiver, is on the injured reserve list for the hamstring. He's at least missing those first 4 games of the season, okay? Fingers crossed he doesn't come back when the Eagles go to the Rams for week 5 because I'll be there. Then you have Hunter Long, tight end. He's on the injured reserve due to his thigh. You have Stetson Bennett, I guess your backup quarterback, is on the reserve list. And then you have your Puka Nwaka, wide receiver, is questionable. I hope not for your guys' sake because that was like your Cooper Kupp backup as a rookie. And you can't have these kind of problems, okay? I'm for sure seeing San Francisco pull off a win here. Obviously, their offense and defense looked explosive as fuck last game against the Steelers. The Steelers fans, I honestly felt really bad for you. I mean, I'm sure the Giants fans were pretty feeling bad too, but you could just tell the look on the Steelers fans' faces that they were very upset by the game against the San Francisco 49ers. And I do think the San Francisco 49ers are winning their division. So, Barbie's choosing San Fran. Next up, you have the Jets versus the Dallas, 1:25 p.m. I'm choosing Dallas off the bat here, okay? I'd be extremely surprised. I think you guys love Zach Wilson as far as I know. And Dallas' defense, I'm sorry, is what won you that game. Because it sure as heck wasn't your offense. That defense literally just killed it for you guys. They slaughtered the Giants. Like, it was brutal watching that game. But Dallas, man, let's see. We know you guys got great people on your offense, but your defense for sure won you that game against the Giants. Hands down, okay? The Jets still have Breece Hall, now your running back, who did great, is questionable. His knee was limited in practice. Aaron Rodgers, your poor quarterback, like I said, injured reserve. He just underwent surgery this past Wednesday for his Achilles. Like I said, he's out for the Achilles, okay? Yeah, I'm just not really sure what's going on here, Jets. I do think that you guys have a chance to make the wild card for the playoffs, but it really depends on, one, can you guys find a backup quarterback? We all know that Zach Wilson did the best he could in that game against the Bills. And the Jets managed to pull off a win, but barely, okay? I mean, in football, a win is a win, but he barely pulled off a win, okay, against the Bills. You guys need to find a new quarterback. Zach Wilson's your backup. That poor man got thrown into the wolves, but at the end of the day, I don't think he's your starting QB, okay? Then you have Dallas. Brandon Cooks, he did great for you guys, okay? Brandon Cooks was great. You guys just got him. Wide receiver, questionable for his knee, and he wasn't at practice on Thursday. You guys still do have other really good people. You still have Tony Pollard. You have your defense, Micah Parsons. I don't know. But Barbie's still choosing Dallas, okay? Barbie's choosing Dallas. I do think Dallas will have a chance, obviously, to beat the Jets. Next up, you have the Commanders. So stupid. Do we think they're actually going back to their name? Commanders versus Denver, okay? 1:25 p.m. on Sunday. As for the Commanders, for their injuries, you have Curtis Samuel, wide receiver, who's questionable with his hip. He was limited in practice on Thursday. And then you have Dax Milne, wide receiver, was placed on the IR list due to his groin. Okay, I swear, it's like one of 4 injuries. What's that? They're injured. Oh, let's go with groin, hamstring, Achilles, or ACL. And that's why you get a Mark Andrews who's got a quad, okay? So, I don't know. Versus Denver, which you have injury, Greg Doltrich, tight end, hamstring, non-participant on Thursday. I think that Denver, Barbie is choosing Denver, okay? I think Denver's going to pull out a win. If Denver doesn't pull out a win, the Denver is fucked, okay? I really don't think the Commanders are that good. I think they barely beat the Arizona. Arizona had a lot of turnovers. Yeah, I don't know. I really feel like that, you know, for Denver, they had the first half of their game against the Raiders last week, but they just screwed up. And I think even if they do have screw-ups, they should still be better than the Commanders. Miami versus New England. Divisional rivals here, okay? They're in the same division. Here's your Sunday night game. Miami. Ooh. I hope I can somehow watch this Miami game, okay? Because I'm telling you, Miami is my favorite team probably in the AFC. I think that Miami is going to be an animal. I love watching people who are so talented play. It's one of my favorite things about football. I will always be the Eagles fan. However, I am a players person. So to watch Miami with their speedsters, with Waddle and Hill, and Tua and Hill had a magnificent connection. You need your quarterback and your main wide receivers to have a fantastic connection on the field if you stand a chance to succeed, because then you just throw these crazy passes with wild catches and you're like, oh, like it's just amazing. You're literally screaming on the edge of your seat, okay? So I'm taking Miami against New England. I thought the Eagles should have beaten the Patriots way better than we did. Like I said, it was a bit embarrassing for us with them. Miami has no injuries, and as for New England, they have Keyshawn Buett, wide receiver, questionable hamstring, ligament practice on Thursday. Then they have Devontae Parker, their wide receiver, is questionable knee, remain a limited participant in practice on Thursday. So Miami has no injuries. New England's got 2 people, both wide receivers. Taking Miami, man. Taking Miami, okay? Then you got the New Orleans Saints versus the Carolina Panthers. Oh, my house is Team Panthers, okay? Like, we are a Panthers fan in my house, but night game on Monday. There are 2 Monday night games, 4:15. Honestly, I think this is going to be close. I'm going to push this a little bit in favor of the Saints, though. I don't think the Saints will look that good against the Titans. Neither one of them barely scored a touchdown. Like, what, 1 touchdown? And was it field goals? Like, they barely got one. So, I don't know. As for the Saints, they have Juwan Johnson, tight end, questionable. They were limited at practice Thursday due to a calf injury. You have Kendra Miller, running back, questionable hamstring, was limited participant in Thursday's practice. And you had Traquan Smith, wide receiver, on the IR list. Actually, you know what? I don't know how much this would really affect it. I did choose all these picks, like, prior to the season starting. I already chose them and I already submitted my picks. My mom does a football pool every week during work. I just think it's going to be close. I don't know. I really want to lean in the Panthers' favor, though. I did already choose the Saints, but I kind of really want to lead in the Panthers' favor. They only have DJ Clark Jr., the wide receiver, is questionable with a hamstring. Let's see. If the Saints win against the Panthers Monday night at 4:15 Pacific time, okay? The Saints are going to be a much better team this year than I thought. I think that the Saints were winning the division. I think they kind of had to catch their footing. They are still missing Alvin Kamara, who's suspended for the first 3 games of the regular season. So fucking stupid. Okay. I don't know. It sucks to see the Panthers go 0-2, but let's see. Barbie's choosing the Saints. Sorry, Robbie. Then last we have the Cleveland Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm choosing the Browns, okay? It's Monday night game, 5:15 p.m. The Cleveland Browns have no injuries, and Pittsburgh, Anthony McFarland, Jr. is a running back questionable with knee, did not practice on Thursday. You have Pat Freiermuth, who I think that was their rookie tight end, questionable. Chest was limited in practice. You have Deontay Johnson, wide receiver, defense, hamstring. He has no timeline return with the injury he suffered in week 1. I think this game is going to be extremely good. The Steelers, I can't imagine want to lose twice, okay? But for some reason, the Browns' defense looked so good against the Bengals. Now, except the Bengals don't win in week 1. There's a lot of factors in this game. I'm going to really just have to take Barbie taking Cleveland, okay? But, you know, we'll see. I'm so curious as to what's going to happen. So that's it, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I greatly appreciated everything. Let me know your thoughts down below. What did you think about week 1? What do you think about week 2? What about all these injuries? These injuries are so wild. I don't remember the last time a week 1 like this had this bad of injuries that are knocking people out for weeks or the whole season. Fudge. I mean, that sucks. I just feel like that sucks. I love you all so much, guys. Ta-ta for now.